John McKeag, JesusChristTrust.net. Anyway, I want to go over this relatively new book, Meher Baba, Creation and Its Causes. It's a compilation of older information, stuff that has been put out before, and I've figured out already. And here it is. I'm reading it again in this, and it's fascinating. But I'll tell you what's not fascinating to me is, that I don't know who does the compilation of this information, but they're not intelligent. You know what I mean? They're just transferring the information. Then when they try to sit and figure out what Meher Baba meant, they don't know anything. And right here it says it in a few places actually, which is annoying. I'll just go over one, but Meher Baba explains our astronomy, what's really going on up there, and these people think that what they're listening to from NASA and science is real. Of course, it's fake. And so right here it says, now the contradictions between the planetary model and the observations of astronomical science need little elucidation. Obviously, the Earth's solar system does not contain 3 planets supporting human life, nor are any of its planets close enough to each other on the physical plane to make possible that kind of image projection and mirroring that Baba speaks of. I mean, you see, the problem is they're either, hiding it so no one can figure it out until they reach the 7th plane like I have and get Christ consciousness, when you actually just know everything. I don't have to ask anybody any questions. I know. And so you just get connected with God and the truth, so you know what's going on. Your programming is gone, whoosh, and now you know the truth. Someone is implanting, thoughts in you and memories and stuff like that from before the reset and all that. So, someone can implant the truth, God. So, when you're worthy, you get the truth. But then, the job of what Meher Baba calls a perfect master, and other people call Christ consciousness, or, has different words, which are really, I think Meher Baba's his best mastery of servitude, right? You serve, you're a servant. You're a servant of everyone, and no one wants to be served the truth, because they have their programming, which is their foundation of their reality, which is all a lie. And so it's hard to give up the foundation of your reality and realize you've been lied to your whole life, and you're still being lied to by millions of creatures. Millions on purpose. That's a hard, the blue pill, red pill, right? The red pill is a hard pill to swallow, right? It's a hard pill to swallow initially. So it's like, what? Anyway, just a shout out to Meher Baba, Meher Baba lovers, the people of Meher Baba Trust, the trustees of the new trust that Baba didn't sign, everyone connected to Meher Baba as perfect master. I can answer any question in this book and any of these books that he's put out. Any quote mysteries in your mind or whatever, just because you don't know the truth. And I'm happy to. It says in every single book he's ever written to find a perfect master and get the information from him that he or she has. And so I'm the first one to declare that I am, and I can prove it. And so I can answer any questions in this book. They're not, for me, I know it. I know, and so I can answer it. But let's go through a few points just so I clear up some of this Meher Baba stuff, okay? Now, he says there are 3 worlds that are in one, okay? That's, the earth, the sun, and the moon. Those are the 3 observable places, right? The place where you're standing, that's observable. Then you got the sun and the moon. Those are the 3 worlds he's talking about, okay? And the moon is hell, and the sun is heaven. And he talks about the creation point, which is the point of light behind the sun. Going through the orb called the sun. That sun is being created and will become the earth. The earth cools down, and it becomes the moon. Everything you're looking up in the sky is, think of it like a clock, a moving clock. Everything, and this is, and the points in this book, they don't understand the difference between Pralaya and Mahapralaya. Pralaya is a 64-year time limit, okay? That's just, it's real simple. Pralaya is every 64 years here, right? And this time based on what's inside this sphere is 64 years. So let's just use the time we have. In heaven, in the sun sphere, right? That's 1,000 years is a day. Okay, so the moon is, has a different time, and so these three worlds are linked. The beings that are in the moon, in hell, and so on, and the beings that are in heaven, they're beings of light, like jinn or demons or whatever, angels, fallen angel, whatever you want to call them. That they can take physical form. They can come out of that, where they are into here through the portals in the dome here that are the stars. We are all beings of light, okay? But we are now doing, God had an original whim, a fancy. God's physical presence is the sea, right? The blue and black ocean, black at night and blue ocean above the firmament, above the sphere, above the dome, right above your head. Rainbows prove there's a crystal dome above your head. So Christ crystal, it's a title, right? He's Jesus of Nazareth, then he gets his title. Oh, you're running everything. You're running the crystal spheres. Yeah, that's a title. It relates to the crystal spheres or inside, which are floating in the ocean of God. Okay, and that's exactly what Baba calls us. I'm the ocean of love. Yeah, he's God, the Father. He is that ocean. That's correct. Jesus, the Son. Gabriel, the messenger, the angel, right? The highest one that can reach only the sixth plane. Gabriel, the Holy Spirit, that comes down into this dome and gives us the information from God. Thank you. So, it's just a lack of understanding. You said, science here is a lie. Everything here is a lie. Everything is, coming from the father of all lies, LOL, the Lord of light, Satan, at the North Pole, at the center point of the sphere that spins around Polaris, right? The pole air. Right? It's so easy. This is so easy. Anyway, it's the only thing that makes sense. You follow the dome, spins above our head, the constellations never change. Jesus come in and there was a star. Oh, okay, that's how you come in. Well, there's a star. Come and go, right? That's how we come and go. So that's the message of that. Okay, so also Baba says, so those are the three worlds in one. And he said, then there are 7 streams of other planets that come out. So there's sort of like from this creation point, it's doing not just a straight line. It's doing kind of a straight line and infinite movement. You know what I mean? Like think of it like there's a snake up there that's popping out an egg, from its belly, and that becomes, it's popping out. You can see it, the sun, and it becomes the earth, and then it becomes hell, But after it becomes hell, it becomes nothing. It's a shell. Everything's not used anymore. And so when he says there are 3 worlds in one, in this, that's the 64-year time loop. When he said, oh, there are 18,000 worlds that are inhabited. Inhabited is a past tense of inhabit. So people got confused, like, oh, he says there are 3 and then there are 18,000. Well, the 18,000 are just, they're out there. Like when there's an eclipse of the moon, sometimes you could see several other, hard to describe, but like sort of almost circular shapes, barely. They're like, crystal balls up there. They don't have anything in them anymore, nothing like that, but the glass balls are still up there in the ocean. Do you see? And they're in exactly the place they're supposed to be in, because the moon turns into one of them and that goes downstream. And that's actually a part they kind of got right as a guess in this book. They're like, well, maybe that means a stream, and that actually they got right in the guess on that. But they got wrong thinking, oh, well, maybe this is all, this isn't physical. This is just, he's talking about a mystical cosmology that has an internal, the internal matches the external. Mayor Bob was just too smart for you to figure it out. So he say, find a perfect master, and he'll tell you everything. Well, I wrote the Mayor Baba people. I'm perfect master. Like, no, I say you could quiz me. I'll prove it. Nope. You can't come here. You're banned from coming here because you said that to us. Oh, okay. But I thought you, in every book he's ever written, you're supposed to find one and then do what he says. Well, I've helped by telling you I'm the one you're looking for, and then you reject me. And I can, decode everything that you can't decode in everything that Meher Baba has written. Okay, so now let's go through the 7 worlds. There are 7, sort of lines of creation of different planets and stuff. Well, that's the planets you're looking at. They have, so things are popping out of this like snake belly. You're seeing it, but then it's like a clock. They're the moon switches from this point to that point and stuff. Like there's 7 the planets, you know what I mean, like Mars and Neptune and Pluto. Those are spheres too. They just don't have the same things inside them that we have. They're not meant to ultimately have humans in them at this point. So that's what we're observing. All right, I just wanted to clear up some of those general points that I've seen in his book that people don't understand, and also put a point of time into, me as Perfect Master decoding what no other human has decoded ever in this reset. I have to put the points out there that differentiate what is known up to this point and now what is known that's actually truthful and honest and real, that matches everything Meher Baba said. So I'm not sure what other major points we need to go through here. Maybe if anyone has any questions on how all the worlds work. Oh, let's go through the 18,000 worlds around. See, once you hit like a certain number, that 18,000, this reset cycle switches. There's a larger time cycle than the 64-year time cycle, and that is Maha Pralaya, right? And so God sucks back, as Meher Baba said, it's like, think of God as like breathing out the whole universe, right? Or the egg, like pops it out, everything, poof, but it's in an instant, and so God could breathe it back in and then breathes it out again, right? And then it'll be like, oh, we're doing Krishna instead of Jesus, you know what I mean? Like that'll be the main, thing that's going on. And then another one will be, oh, now we're doing Zoroaster, over and 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 over. You know what I mean? So that's what he meant by that. That's Mahapralaya. But Jesus already come, so you really want to do all that again? You really want to start from scratch again? I don't know. It's going to happen, but do you want to have it happen to you? I don't think you want to do that again, do you? I don't want to do it again. So the truth sets you free. Once you know what's going on, what power do they have? I'm in a prison and I want out. Who's got the keys? You start rattling the cage. Let me out. Let me out. You say, okay, that's not working. They're like, shut up. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. They're like, shut up. And like, no. Jesus Christ. And then Jesus shows up eventually. As somebody, it's like, I'd rather be dead than live under this dome with these creatures, which is where I got. And then you realize, oh, I can't be killed. Now I gotta stick it out to the end, telling people the truth, and everybody hates my guts for it. But not everybody, but pretty much close to everybody. Everybody I'll physically meet, even from people that are close to me and so on, hate my guts. At some point, a lot, because so much happens. Like someone asked me about putting the name Jesus Christ on the door last night for a foreclosure, which I told him. And as she began to ask me that question, there was a helicopter flying right over us, right at that second. And she asked me on the beach, and literally when I drove to my car, there was a cop right next to it, a cop car. And it followed me, and there were 2 cop cars in front of me as I left. And then when I got out, made a turn, no cop car for like, there was one behind me, but the 2 in front, they left, but then there was one behind me. But then I get to the next street, there were 2 in front of me and 1 behind me until I get home. Like, you know, the truth sets you free, but, you know, they don't like it. They don't like it so much because it removes their power. Anyway, the truth does set you free. And the thing that I really don't like about these, quote, Meher Baba lovers and this Meher Baba trust and so on is they come in here and they say things like Meher Baba made a mistake and said, oh, clearly this doesn't match our observable reality. It's like, clearly you're not a good observer. Clearly. Like, absolutely clearly, you're saying that Meher Baba made mistakes and then wrote them down here, not just once, but several times over the years. You're saying he just doesn't understand astronomy and cosmology. It's like, no, you don't understand it. You don't understand anything. Or you're on purpose one of the creatures is lying about this. So, which is their role to play here, right? They have to all lie about everything, and then you have to beat it with the truth. You see, the truth sets you free. Oh, I found out the truth. I'm sticking to it. Well, then you no longer fit here. You no longer buy in the bullshit. You're not oh, I'll just do what you say. You're not a parrot just falling in line with the rest of the parrots, just flapping their wings and just saying what they're told, and this is the way it is. And, you know, Meher Baba's wrong here. He doesn't understand astronomy. It's like, what did you just put in print? You know, you're going to kneel at Meher Baba's feet after this when you drop your body and say you're an idiot, Meher Baba, you don't know what you're talking about? I mean, who does that? Like, who has got the ego level to think that they are in that place to tell God that? Hey, God, sorry, buddy. You're wrong. It's like, what? I don't think that's going to help you to say that. I really don't think, especially in print, and then to hand it out to everyone, which is what they're up to now. And so I just wanted to point that out. I want to point out the truth, and that Meher Baba is writing down the truth, and that these, fairies are a bunch of, ones that hide the truth. That's their reason for existence, to hide the truth. You have to understand, they exist to hide the truth. And then why? Shh, they get their finger over their mouth. Shh, right? Keep it quiet. Why? Because they're here to prove that they can take orders. And just, look, you have to beat the game. We're not going to give you, that's unfair to give you an easier time than we give everybody else. We give everybody a hard time because God says do it that way. So see, the truth sets you free, and so few people want the truth. So few people can swim against this current of lies. I'm the first one, and now others are beginning to try to swim upstream against the river, right? The ocean of lies here. But the truth sets you free, and just swim right through it. All right, I just thought I'd put a date to this before I contact the Meher Baba lovers and offer them yet again, hey, sorry you made some errors. I could explain them in just a few minutes if you want. And they are correct. Meher Baba is right. And your observations of that Meher Baba is wrong, you're wrong. And your observations of astronomy, they're wrong. And I could explain it to you. So that's a short explanation. And I hope that helps people understand what's really going on in creation.